There's an awful lot of government spending going on in Canada in the hopes of aiding both individuals and businesses. But what about the deficits and the mounting debt on the other side of all of this? Joe Oliver is a former federal finance minister and chairman of Echelon Wealth Partners. Joe, I mean, we know from your political stripe that we don't expect you to get on here and say they're doing a bang-up job and there's nothing to worry about. But just put your finance minister cap on for me. It's an emergency. We're not going to question the cost of the parachute when we're falling through midair. But when do we start thinking? When should we, folks in finance, start thinking about how to pay these bills?
Well, we have to start thinking right now, and hopefully they already have some kind of preliminary plan. Look, I certainly agree that a very major fiscal response was necessary, both as a moral obligation, because we put businesses and people out of work, and to avoid a financial catastrophe, a depression. So something had to be done, and it had to be very, very big. But it can't be limitless. In any case, we're dealing, according to the parliamentary budget officer, with a deficit of over $250 billion. And that's on top of $100 billion that the government had already spent in the first 5 years in terms of cumulative deficits. So we're going to simply have to deal with that, and hopefully the government has started working on a plan to do that. And you know, when you're dealing with debt of that size, which is going to drive up the debt to GDP ratio to over 48% from, I think it was at 34% before, and interest on the debt before that huge increase was something in the order of $3,400 for every family of four on average in Canada. So it's going to have a major impact, and it's going to reduce economic growth. So the issue is how do you deal with it? And I think the way you deal with it is look to ways that will enhance growth, so that the proportion of debt will become a smaller proportion of the total economy.
So we've only got less than a minute here, Joe. I apologize. But growing the economy is the best case scenario. Do you also need to cut? In other words, do some cuts while hoping to grow? Or is it just spend, spend, spend and hope that the GDP number does its job?
No, we can't. We can't spend. We can't let the deficits continue to grow. We have to have a target for getting into balance. It's not going to be very short term. That's not possible. I don't think we need or want austerity. But look, we have to do the things that will enhance growth, and one of them is to have a more competitive tax system. Another is to develop our natural resources in a responsible way. That would actually be huge. We should reduce interprovincial trade barriers. That's in the order of $30 billion saving a year. We've got to enhance international trade as well. We have to be fiscally prudent, but we have to look at ways to increase growth.
All right, Joe Oliver, sorry that we're so short with you. I hope to talk to you soon. Okay. Joe Oliver, former federal finance minister, chairman of Echelon Wealth Partners.